The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation, because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why they actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's forming a phone.
Hello and welcome back to the Blueprint Podcast. I'm your host, Lowe's Moore, and I'm excited to be back with you guys another week. I hope you guys are enjoying your summer vacation. I have literally enjoyed all summer long. It's been great. It's been busy, but it's been great. Next week, man, we're going to be on vacation next week. We're going to go to spend some time in Costa Rica next week, man. I'm looking forward to it. We're leaving tomorrow, and I'm excited about that. And, I like to hold on to the summer. I'm not going to let the summer go. I mean, I heard somebody, I didn't even want to hear it. Somebody said, we coming up on the last weekend of August of summer. I'm like, I don't want to hear that, man, because I love summer. I love the weather. And we're going to hold on to it all the way to October. We're going to hold on to it. And we're going to have a good time all the way through. So, man, let me get rolling here. Let me talk about a couple of things, man. I hope you guys enjoyed the Olympics, and I had a good time with the Olympics, man. I can't wait. Now the Olympics are going to be on in 2028. I'm making my plans now. Hey, look, some people say, man, well, you don't know whether you're going to be here in 2028. I don't know, but I can plan for it, right? I'm making a goal. I'm saying, like, I'm going to the Olympics in 2028, man. I don't know if these guys are gonna be there in 2028. Steph Curry, LeBron James. LeBron James is gonna be like 56 years old by the time 2028 comes.
He'll have his AARP card.
He definitely gonna have his AARP card. Steph is getting up there. KD is getting up there. But those guys, man, came through for us. The old Jacks came through for us at the Olympics this year. And, everybody was like, this guy didn't play, that guy didn't play. Man, let me tell you something. If I was there, as one of my first times there, I'm just enjoying the experience, in that I got a chance to play with some legendary players, man, future Hall of Famers, and that I hope that one day I would be, right, if I'm, playing on that Olympic teams, man. I know they proud and happy that they won that gold medal, right, and that they were on the team. So, yeah, man, and it's so many people, man. I got to say, Rye Benjamin, Mount Vernon, New York, I just got to give him his props. And I got to give everybody their props, man, from the United States, but all the athletes all over the world, right? You guys were tremendous, man, from every country, right? And to see the camaraderie, to see how people were taking pictures with each other, shaking hands with each other. I said this a couple of weeks ago, that something powerful about sports, right? That we would stop war, right? That we would stop conflict, that we would slow down on political things, that we could come together, right? And have sports and good competition, right? And to compete for medals, right? And to bring camaraderie and community and friendship. I mean, it's just powerful. It's an example of what the world should do. We should be doing for real, not just in sports, but we should be doing it in life. We should have this kind of relationships in politics, right? Relationships in business, right? We all should be coming together trying to figure out, how do we find homes for people who are homeless? How do we how do we help people that are hungry, right, and don't have no food? I mean, we should come together. That all those countries that was in the Olympics ought to come together and figure out how we can solve poverty, right, and how we can cut war, right? And the Olympics is the example that we can do it. If we can do it in sports, we can do it in life. So I want to move on from there. I got the pleasure this morning. My wife preached this morning. I got a chance to go to the church. Amazing message this morning. I did a lot of thinking about what she was saying, so about going to church. And most importantly, she said, we go to church to be present, right? But we don't go to church to be in the presence of God, right? That was a powerful statement as far as I'm concerned, because there's a lot of people who go to church, right? And it ends and people are fighting and arguing and, not showing real love, not showing the love of Christ, not showing being an example to one another, right? So we were just present because we didn't hear the message, right? But when we go to church and we are serving God, right, we want to be in his presence. We want him to be in our presence, right? And that should have an impact on us, so that we would go out and be an example of God's love once we leave it. It was powerful. I enjoyed it today. The young people there, man, she started praying for the young people, man. And our young people were, they were sitting back, it crazy. I got to tell you this real quick. So she said, hey, you guys got your phones? All the young people held their phones up, right? And they took their phone. She said, okay, now take those phones and put them in the next the next seat in front of you, right? I think they was in shock, man, because we can't, if this thing come out our hand, man, something's wrong, man. It's like glued to our hand. And them kids sat through that service, man. I know they were itching to get that phone, right? Itching to get on that phone, because they would have never heard the message, right? They would never heard the message if they was looking at their phone. Not just them, but adults too, right? And at the end, when they called for prayer, the young people started coming up for prayer, man, and they were crying and they were, reaching out and stuff like that. Because really, a lot of young people are hurting, right? But they don't know what to say or what to do, so they just don't do anything. They don't say anything. So kudos to my wife this morning. She did an excellent job, and I'm excited about that. So let me move forward here, and let me digress for a moment, and let me give you. I'm gonna skip my book of the week, and I'm gonna go to my word of the week. Right, the word of the week is harmony, right, and this is harmony in art, right. I think it's a very powerful word, right, because I was just talking about the Olympics. We could talk about harmony in regards to family. Are we connected? Are we integrated? Are we together? And so many times this summer we've been talking about family and listening to people getting together with family and cooking out and going to the beach. Man, just such harmony when we all together, right? And then when you get together with friends, if I can just say, I want to integrate some in that harmony, right? Is that, a few weeks ago we didn't get to go to, but we had a podcast and we were talking about the importance of family, talking about the importance of having reunions, talking about the importance of getting together, right? Man, it brings such harmony. And what's powerful that, we had the podcast about Mount Vernon going to Charlotte, going south and going to Charlotte and having a reunion. And I want to show a quick video of, that reunion, because you guys heard me talk about it a lot, but I want to show you the video of the reunion that they put together in Mount Vernon. I hope you guys had your reunions or whether they be school reunions, family reunions. You need to get together. I mean, we need to get together, friends and family. So check out this video real quick.
Square for life, right here in Charlotte at the Steel Creek Marriott. The takeover is in full effect. We're having a great time. Everybody's loving it. Don't listen to me. Listen to whoever else was here. They'll tell you how much fun was had.
We're at our Mount Vernon High School reunion, and we're having a great time. We're glad to see each other, so I'm just so happy to be here in Charlotte celebrating with my people.
I was was in the first graduating class from the high school, year 1963. We're here and having a good time for the whole weekend, and we are having a ball.
I'm the class of 2001. We're going to continue this tradition from '01, and we got to get the '02s and '03s and '04s in. We got to learn from our elders, and there was a great connection.
I'm here having a blast. This is my first reunion. I swear, y'all, I can't wait to do the next one.
This is what we do, man. When Mount Vernon get together, we travel, we have fun, we have love for one another, and nobody can put us down, man. We always gonna be number one. Mount Vernon, 4 square miles, all day, every day.
Of course, the class president, yes, you know it, okay? We down here having an amazing time. Now we get ready to go party.
We're having a great time. If you wasn't here, you missed it. This was a great, great, great affair. I think this has been the best so far.
Hey, I want to thank Squirt. I want to thank Tony Dinkins. I want to thank Wally Grady, Sydney. Hey, this was wonderful. This was magnificent. This was phenomenal. And I hope we do it again next year. And let's do it in Charlotte.
Our reunion is thebomb.com. I know they don't say that no more, so I'm aging myself, but we are having a ball right here, right now.
If you're not here, you should have been here.
This is a fabulous weekend. They did an excellent job. It gets better and better every year.
I'm from the boogie down Mount Vernon, Ireland, you heard me? We having a good time. It's beautiful festivities. Man on the mic, man on the DJ. I wish I could cuss in this motherfucker.
4 square miles of just greatness. Next year or the next time we have a class reunion, please be here.
It's about love. It's 4 square miles for life. That means something to a lot of people in this room. We do this every couple of years, and it's grown bigger and bigger and bigger, and we're gonna grow it even bigger than it is now.
4 square for life in Charlotte, doing the damn thing. Everybody's dancing, having a good time, drinking champagne. I love y'all. 4 square for life. Next time, be here. Squirt signing out.
Yes. Oh man, I'm mad. You know what? My wife and I, we were scheduled that weekend. We did the podcast with Squirt and we did it with Wally. We had a great time on the podcast. I wanted to be there even more after we did the podcast, but we were scheduled to do a marriage retreat. Marriage retreat was wonderful. We had a great time there, and we didn't make it to the reunion, but it looks like everybody had a great time from the pictures. Man, we've been giving pictures, and it's just not for us. Remember, it's Mount Vernon, New York that went to Charlotte, right? I don't know where we're going next week, but next year, but we will see.
What? You know what's going on in Charlotte next year?
What?
The same weekend of the reunion, Losie's going to be doing Ain't Too Proud to Beg.
Oh, yeah. We want to say, I think I got a little flyer up there. I think I put a little flyer up there. Yeah, I don't want to jump to it, but anyway, that was my word of the week.
Okay, you're going to wait.
Yeah, I'm going to wait for a second. Then here's my affirmation, my Hill and Pierce Harper affirmation. It says here, laziness kills ambition. Anger kills wisdom. Fear kills dreams. Egos kills growth. Jealousy kills peace. Doubt kills confidence. Now read it from left to right. Confidence kills doubt. Peace kills jealousy. Growth kills ego. Dreams kill fear. Wisdom kills anger. And ambition kills laziness. I mean, I love it. Right? That's something we should read every single day, man. That's my Pierce, my Hill and Pierce Harper affirmation moment. Yeah. We should listen, every day. We need when we wake up, man, we wake up with so much negativity. When we wake up in the morning, and one of the first things I want to do is I don't want to look at the news. I want to get me an affirmation, or I want to get me a scripture. I want to give God praise, salute God, right? And I want to read an affirmation, something to encourage me, get me off to a good start in the morning, because I know it's going to be crazy after I wake up. So, but affirmations are key, right? And here's my music and movie of the week. And here it is right there. I want to say congratulations. Right there in the middle is my oldest son, Lowe's Moore, right? And he just booked the second national tour, Ain't Too Proud to Beg. Woo! Yeah, so I'm looking forward to.
He got a very critical role.
Yeah, he's playing Eddie Kendricks in Ain't Too Proud to Beg. And like my wife was just about to say, next year around our reunion time, he's going to be in Charlotte. Yeah. And then the movie, I got to show you this. Because I got to get to my guest, but I got to show you this real quick. Right? Here is the movie, The Forge. Right? So check out this trailer. It's coming out on, I've been talking about this for like the last couple of months. It's coming out on August the 23rd. Everybody can go see it. But man, if you want to talk about mentorship and men and young black males, right, and helping them grow and make good, powerful transitions in life, man, check this movie out on the 23rd.
Your grandfather drove this?
My dad told me he was gonna fix it over me. This is the way he left it. Like everything else.
You are my son, but I'm giving you 1 month to find a job, or you can find one of your little friends that's gonna let you sleep on their couch for free.
Can I help you? I'm just trying to talk to a young lady right here.
I need for you to leave my shop right now.
I'm gone. And I won't be back either.
That's something right there your father would do.
Well, I ain't him.
You acting like him. Boy! It's hard for a woman to call out the man and her son. I just need some prayer support.
I'm just trying to see about a job, right? I ain't heard about nothing. What, you a salesman for this company?
I'm the president. That's for more. A big part of becoming a man is showing up. Can you do that, Isaiah?
You hear all these promises.
When my sister tells me that she needs prayer support, honey, I bring prayer support.
Am I in the right place? Miss Clara! We pray that the Lord will open Isaiah's eyes so that he could see himself the way that the Lord sees him.
You're 50 minutes early.
Hey, try not to be late again.
I want to introduce you to a small group of men that mean the world to me.
We grow together, we eat together. It's one of the most important things I've ever done in my life.
God has forgiven me so much. Who was I to refuse to forgive?
Okay, Jesus, I give it to you.
What kind of man do you want to be? And what do you want people to think when they see you coming?
You only got 6 of us, 7 including Emmett. I'm willing to go the second mile. We can't just walk out and do nothing. Let's roll.
If I may be blunt, a man stands in front of me. Isaiah, welcome to the Forge.
Now that is good. Miss Claire, I need you to come by here more often. Mm-hmm. Keisha needs you.
Oh man, yeah, we got the. I want to say thank you to Harvest Time Church and Allen Houston, who allowed us to preview the movie last Thursday. Man, we truly enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was some good stuff.
Yeah, that was good. 23rd, man. Take your son, take your daughter, right? But especially, man, I mean, we need more mentors for our young men, and this is a very powerful movie that addresses that. And so that's my music. That's my movie of the week. And then here's my, I just sent you a picture. Yeah.
You send me stuff at the last minute.
Yeah.
Coming up on this
you
show.
my wife. I can send you stuff at the last minute. But I want to show you my person of the week.
Your person of the week.
Yeah, my person of the week. Ludacris, right? Chris, Ludacris Bridges, right? And I want to say, I'll talk a little bit more about it with my guest this evening, but I want to say thanks to Luda and his team, right? And Luda Cares, because back a few years when I was with the Boys and Girls Club of Mount Vernon as the executive director, they came in and did a Luda Christmas, right? I think that we had like hundreds and hundreds of kids. They had stations. They had the giant, toy soldiers. They had Santa Claus. They gave out gifts to every single kid in the Boys and Girls Club, and they brought in.
You want to grow up and be like that one day?
Yeah, I would love to grow up and have Christmases for people and give food to people and provide living for people, and living space for people.
You want me to show that picture too that you said?
Yeah, you can show that picture because that's Luda's father, Wayne Bridges, right? And earlier I was talking to my guest about Wayne, man. Him and a number of guys at the Boys and Girls Club that we grew up in, right? He lived right up the street from the Boys Club, and we had a chance to see those guys be good examples and mentors for us growing up. And life was tough back then, but we were proud of the guys who are alumnus of the club. So thanks to Luda for that special time. And you see that picture at the bottom of it was an actual picture in the Boys and Girls Club with the kids, right? With the kids there, man. And he blessed a lot of people there. And he's my person of the week. And then here's my book of the week. I saved it this week before I get to my guests. I saved it this week. So I want to show the book of the week. And Exponential living. Exponential living, right? And actually, last year, believe it or not, as I was looking up this book, and I actually spoke on the phone with Sherry Rowley, and I spoke on the phone because Alan Houston introduced me to her, and she's doing a number of life coaching things around the NBA, right? And so I want to show the book. I want to show this little clip of that book right now, and then right after that, I'm going to introduce my guest for this night.
The 9 Principles of Exponential Living empowers you to stop spending 100% of your time on 10% of who you are.
Peace is making sure your entire family is taken care of first and foremost, because that's when I have peace. Making sure your family's taken care of, and health. Health is number one. Being healthy and making sure that you have a lot more fight in you. And when I say fight in you, you have to eat the right things, you have to exercise in order to plan out your next 10 to 20 years and make sure that you're at a space where you can continue to work on the same level or on an even better level than you've been working. So that's what peace is to me.
Peace is to me, like you said, basically, Chris said, and what I said earlier in the question, is that my family and people that I care about, I've given it to them, and I feel like that I've given all I could. Peace to me is that,
Well, for me, peace would be probably 2 words: freedom and fearlessness. And I mean, they're connected to what they're saying. It's just when you have these things that they're speaking of, then you have a freedom and a fearlessness about how you approach things. So you've got your family situated, you've got certain things lined up, it creates a fearlessness because you've done what you've done, and that creates a freedom. Now you can either do more or do less. You're free enough to accept what it is or change what it is. It's just, it's a two-sided coin, freedom and fearlessness for me, but it's connected to and rooted in what they're saying.
I'm Jeff Dixon, and I'm Exponential Living.
I'm Chaka Zulu, and I'm Exponential Living.
I am Chris Bridges, and I am Exponential Living.
right, I want to welcome to the Blueprint Podcast my main man, Jeff Dixon. I got my book too, man. I've had this book for a little while too, man. See, I had it for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, I had it for a while, and like I was saying earlier, I met Miss Rowley. Back last year was actually when Alan introduced me to her, and talking about some of the things she was doing with the NBA coming up. So, but Jeff, I want to welcome you.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you.
And I want to say personally again, I know I've said it a number of times, man, for your support of the Boys and Girls Club for many years as as an alumnus. And here's the crazy thing, right? When you were younger, we were standing out in front of the club. I think I was still playing basketball. You were still, I don't know if you were a graduate. I think you were in college then. I think you were at Maryland Eastern Shore. You might have been there, and you started talking about, business, going into business and stuff, and in the future, reaching back and helping the club. And I had so many guys say, when I grow up, I'm gonna help the club. There's a lot of guys who say it, but then there's a lot of guys who do it. And so you and Greg Rogers and Ebony's son, your guys came back to some of the golf outings, man. Some of the Boys and Girls supported Boys and Girls Club events, supported the staff of the staff dinner for the Boys and Girls Club, man. Y'all really blessed us with your resources, and then also you're able to come in and be a part of it too as well. And then the Luda Christmas was just crazy. Right, we had an awesome time back then, and actually somebody said to me, it wasn't too long ago. I think it was Elder Clayton, Charles Clayton. I don't know if you know Charles Clayton. You remember Charles Clayton? He used to play the organ and stuff like that. He said to me, "Man, you remember Luda Christmas?" And he had a picture. He showed me in his phone. He showed me a picture where he had a picture with Luda and everybody out there. He had taken pictures and stuff like that, and that was the kind of impact that kind of had driven our Christmas from that point on. So I want to say thank you, man.
Nah, thank you, man. That was big for me to come back with me, Chris, and his moms, and thinking about Wayne and coming back and doing that for the Boys Club. That's always been a dream of mine, and I'm a big dreamer. So, I got another goal. Denzel gave $1 million. I'm gonna give $1,000,001. That's my goal.
To give $1,000,001?
Yeah, $1,000,001. That's it.
$1,000,001.
That's it, man. Very competitive, man. Very competitive. The Boys Club and Little League and stuff like that. So always, do that. And any time that we do any type of events or corporate things, I make sure that they get back to the Boys Club. Last year, I think we gave them like $75,000. But every year, I try to make sure we give back, because they always want us to do certain things. But I'm like, you got to give back to Mount Vernon. And Chris is just more Luda. Y'all know him as Luda. They always know. I'm like, you got to go to Mount Vernon Boys Club. So I'm learning the politics, learning how to make sure it go to us.
Right.
And, go to the Boys Club, but I make sure it goes back to Mount Vernon. And just trying to make sure that I keep that up. So I'm a little short on the money, but I'm getting there.
Hey, the bottom line is to get across the finish line to $1,000,001. I mean, that's all that matters. I mean, that you.
Denzel's competitive too, so he'll give a second dollar just to be.
I know. Listen, we had a little conversation. Finally, we had a conversation, and trust me, that's the Mount Vernon in us, though.
That's right.
That's the Mount Vernon in us.
Now, here's the crazy part, right? So we ended up with, Denzel gave us $1 million, right? Mm-hmm. So then the National Boys and Girls Club asked me if I would ask Denzel, who was their spokesperson. I don't know why they couldn't do it if they could honor him. They asked me to ask him. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm like, you've been with Denzel like 30 years. You can't ask them. So I asked Denzel if the National could honor him on behalf of the Boys and Girls Club of Mount Vernon. Right? And so they did. And so Denzel gave us $1 million. Right? And then we raised 1.6 million during that gala. So yeah, it ended up being $1.6 million with along with Denzel's.
I gotta figure some stuff out. I'm figuring out. I got a lot of friends, man. I got a lot of friends, a lot of favors. I gotta get to that.
Oh
We
man.
class of '81, Trish. You know we gonna make it happen.
We know we got it going on.
Well, that's what happened because people are competitive, right? So I went in to ask this guy. He's a Mount Vernon business guy, right? And what's the name of that business, Trees? We just honored him not too long ago. But anyway, we were building relationships with people. So each year they would ask, when we asked somebody to be the honoree, that means they would be the chair of the event. So they would always ask, what did the last guy do? Right. So we was like, okay, he did 50,000, like that. And so the guy said, well, I'm going to do 70,000, like that. So one guy we went to, man, and we said, well, because once he heard his friend had did something, he said, what did he do? He said, oh, he did 75,000. So he did 75. He said, oh, I'm going to do 100,000. Right. It was crazy, man, what happens when we talk about competition, right, and being competitive, right? So we can go back to the boys. We was talking about this earlier because I think the boys club, now Boys and Girls Club, right? Every event, whether it was in the game room, whether it was in the wood shop, right? Whether it was in the gym or the printing room, right? We all had to do everything. There was no like, oh no, I'm not playing basketball. I'm not playing football. I'm not playing volleyball. I'm not playing pool. No, you're going to learn to play pool. You're going to learn to play ping pong. You're going to learn to play chess and checkers, right? You're going to learn to play. You're going to play house league. You're going to play flag football league. You're going to play all that. Now, you may not be good at it, right? But you're going to try, right? And the better we got at something, the more competitive. Like we lose, we can wait the next year. We can wait the next week. I lost in pool. I'll be back there to play ping pong against Jeff next week because he beat me. So that's where that competitive spirit, right, comes from, man. When you talk about like 1,000,001.
Yeah, man. I've been telling people that for a minute. Like not even people from Mount Vernon, just like people I be talking, and they be like, "Well, what's your spot?" I'm like, and I gotta get to this 1,000,001. Denzel gave Mount Vernon $1 million. I gotta give $1,000,001. I just was somewhere recently that I said that, and they was like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm dead serious. I'm working. I just got to now add up all the stuff that I've done, and then I gotta go ask Howie because remember Howie's working with the club. He kept asking, certain things, but like I said, man, I got a lot of work to do, man. I'm just grateful, man. The Boys Club was everything since I got that first grade little. Me and my brother was latchkey kids, so we had the gray car with the shoestring around our neck. You know what I mean? So
I call it the weapon. You hit somebody over the head with that, man, they gonna be hurt. Yeah. So talk about you were born and raised in Mount Vernon. So talk about growing up in Mount Vernon. Talk about mom, dad, siblings. Talk about that process and talk about it around their development of you in regards to the importance of family, right? The importance of faith and the importance of education.
Yeah. Well, I was born in Mount Vernon, Sanford Boulevard, between 3rd and 4th Avenue, 16 East Sanford. Building still there. Born and raised there. Went to Longfellow.
Longfellow, I like that school. Man.
Yeah, Longfellow School. My mom's raised me. So we kind of just was two bad boys, and the moms raising us, but making us disciplined and doing the things that we needed to do. At that time, I was Boys Club, Fresh Park. Like I told you earlier, it was summertime, Boys Club during the winter and stuff like that. Summertime was more Brush Park until Brush Park closed. Lily was down there from sun up to sundown. Baseball. Barry Horn was one of our guys that took me up under his wings, me and my brother. It's when I met a lot of people like Kenny Deloach and all these other guys from all over, Dave, Rab, everybody knows his Rab, all those guys in baseball. So we were just engrossed in baseball. We was in Brush Park from sun up to sundown. Um, then after that, I started more the boys club. So the boys club, you go home, eat dinner, go back to the boys club.
That's right.
So those type of things. And then at the time, school was important to me. Sometimes I would go to Nurse Shell. My family, a lot of my family's from Nurse Shell. So I was learning a lot of consciousness because my dad wasn't with us, but I was learning a lot of freedom. We call it freedom school, where we were learning all about our Black history and certain things we would do. So it would be funny because I would be all during the week, but then that Saturday I'd go to freedom school in the projects in Nurse Shell, and I would learn all about our Black history and our power, like that. So it was like juxtaposed because I was radical. That was the way the radical would come out of me, like we don't believe in, we've been not pledge allegiance to the flag, so I used to get in a lot of trouble. And then when my dad would come around, he would take the stitching off. If we had any flags, he would take the stitching off. So it kind of made me like always questioning, because they taught us always to question things and always to be proud of who we are, and we don't watch too much TV. Now where everybody's at, we've been doing that, They didn't want to celebrate Christmas, certain things that they didn't do. So we were caught in between. That's why my other brother, and the Shaka and them was going by the African names, and we was going by our regular names, Jeff Dixon, Jay Dixon, stuff like that. But just growing up in Mount Vernon was a great thing because I just did a little bit of everything. And the boys club had us doing a little bit of everything. Like you said, we would do just roller skating. We would do trampoline. You had to play every sport, bumper pool, ping pong, and you were competitive. So just going to the boys club, and that was kind of shaping my life when I was younger. That was basically the everything for me. And then it started being police anchor camp in the summer.
Yeah.
We went with the youth bureau, Joe Bianco. My mom's worked for the court system. So we started going to camp. And me and my brother was so great at baseball. We were only supposed to go for 2 weeks. You leave from City Hall. Me and my brother was so great. We had I played second, he played short. And they just started saying, oh, y'all don't stay for 2 weeks. Y'all stay for the whole summer. So literally my mom's got rid of us for the whole summer. And we stayed 8 weeks instead of 2 weeks. So, it was just, that kind of was what my youth was. And hopefully when I was doing that, I was good. It was just sometimes when you had an idle mind, then certain other things would happen. But always was great, and always thankful for the boys club and Brush Park. Went down there yesterday, had a ball. It was like I needed that in my life at the time, just coming off a major tour with one of my new artists. I managed a young lady by the name of Money Long. 3 #1 hits that we just started. But going down there yesterday, I needed that break. We just came off tour, and I just needed a break. And Pokey and K Shaw, all these guys, they were like, man, please come. So me and Greg got on the plane yesterday, went down to Brush Park, had a great time. I really miss Kevin Sledge. Anybody knows Kevin, me and Kevin was always together. Me, Kevin, and Ronald Ross, which everybody knows Butter, was together. But I missed them kind of yesterday, but I needed that in my life to get back to Mount Vernon yesterday, man. It was big. That in Charlotte. When the reunion, I needed, because those people, that's when you could be you. You know what I mean? Like everybody knows me, you do it, but that levels me out lows, and then it makes me get that competitive edge back. Like our motto is we just getting started. And and that brings me back to everything.
Yeah, but you and Kevin, man, Sledge was just like inseparable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was nowhere we could go and not see Jeff and Kevin, man. I mean,
yeah, that started from Jay and Gaylord, older brothers, and then they brought us together. Kevin was on second, I was on third in Sanford, he was on second half, and then that's when we all got together. And
you lived around the corner from each other.
Yeah,
basically.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kevin lived, the house was right next door to where Tracy and them used to live.
It was on 2nd Avenue?
Mm-hmm. The dead end block.
Like five.
Dead end block, yeah. That my
like
sister just She just sold her house over there.
Either 526 or 530, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. She
Yeah,
just
that
sold
was
the house and moved to Fayetteville.
wow. Yep. And then Sean Bryan is a good friend of mine, the NBA. I don't know if you know Sean from Mount Vernon. Sean's very influential corporate guy. We all came from baseball in Brush Park, and one of my guys, man. It was a crazy like time, man. Yesterday just really took me back, man.
Oh yeah, man. Because most people, like for me, most people only know me as a in terms of as a basketball player. But for me, it started at Brush Park, playing in the junior minors, minor,
Hmm.
little league. I mean, playing baseball before I even got to basketball. Just going down and figuring out what team you're gonna be on,
Hmm.
trying to be competitive. Was it Seth? For me, it was Seth Vanderbilt.
Vandenberg. Seth was.
Vandenberg, yeah. He was on. We were on the team together. He was our pitcher, man. Nobody could hit Seth, man. I mean,
Mhm.
if I saw Seth today, man, every time he's like, "Come on, though, don't say it, don't say it." The greatest baseball player I ever known. I mean,
Yep.
because
Mhm.
Seth was the man back then. He's like a grown man playing baseball,
Hmm.
and we
Lonnie
love
Do.
baseball.
Lonnie
Yeah,
Do.
Lonnie do. So we love baseball back then. I mean, people always look at the basketball side of it, but a lot of us grew up playing baseball.
Hmm.
And Brush Park was beautiful. We had a beautiful park. I mean, going over there and playing, man. And just we'll get back into, but talk about baseball because you've come back, right? You've come back to Mount Vernon several times trying because something's happening for years in regards to baseball and particularly black players in baseball, right? We fought to integrate baseball,
Hmm.
right? And you've been fighting for years. And I got to say to Eddie Johnson, I see Eddie Johnson on here,
My
but
God.
here's the crazy thing. I came back one year when I came to the Boys and Girls Club. Many people don't know I managed a junior minor league team, and Eddie, I think it was Eddie. Eddie was coaching with me, right? And I
You
think
coach baseball?
I,
I'm in hysterics. Oh yes, that's right. You coached the.
I coached the guy that won Star Search. Remember the little white kid that
Lanza.
Lanza. Yeah, he won Star Search, but he was on my baseball team, and I had two twins that were on the baseball team. I mean, I don't know if Eddie remember that and I think Greg Rogers. I'm trying to think of Greg. Yeah, me,
Hmm.
Eddie, and Greg Rogers
Yep.
was managers on the team. I was the manager. They was managing with me. Right, they knew more about baseball than I did. Eddie played baseball, right? But we were out there giving back to the kids as managers of baseball. So in our heart, we love baseball. Love the Mets growing up, right? And love the Yankees growing up. I mean, yeah, it was just an awesome time, man. When you talk about baseball, but you've been trying for years, and I
Hmm.
know as being a part of the Boys and Girls Club, particularly the National Boys and Girls Club, and Major League Baseball for years have been trying to grow in regards to getting more black players back into baseball, right? And you came here a few times to kind of see if you could revive, so it looked like back in the day. Talk a little bit about baseball and what you think we need to do to encourage more young people to get involved.
I think when I came back years ago, and I got with MLB, I told them, what
He
I
said,
wanted.
Don't tell Jeff about the Mets. He's a Yankees
Yeah,
fan.
that's Eddie. I ain't sorry, Eddie. But I came back. I got with a guy, David, and we came. And you remember when I came to Boys Club, I got them to donate to fix up Field Two,
Hmm.
and it was actually the Rivera, Mariano Rivera came down and came to Brush Park. He knew how dear it was, and I just came and I wanted to be involved because I think baseball was so much an integral part of Mount Vernon. Like it just melted everything together because you had, blacks, whites, everybody involved in it. And that was Mount Vernon was a staple. You had Rick Fagnani, you had Paul Casalino, you had Solano, all of us, even yesterday, I was down there and I was like, ain't none of y'all could beat us in baseball down here. Nothing, nobody. Like, and we always play. It'd be me, Renee, Eddie, all of us. But it also started out with the original Sanford Boulevard people. But what it is to me, Lowe's, and I'm still yesterday. I'm still dedicated to bringing baseball back to Mount Vernon, and glad for people to, because I think we need that, because you have so many parents and people coming from all over coming down to Brush Park on Saturdays. I think that builds that camaraderie. It builds, that community structure. So I still, want to get back, even if we got to start out small again. I think we need, I know we need baseball in Mount Vernon. I think we have to go one step at a time. Even if I have to do a tournament, with a lot of my friends, the Fat Joes and Jay Z and all them, they love baseball. So at the end of the day, I think I'm gonna actually try and do a tournament down there next year. Let them bring teams, and then at least start out that way so we can get it back any way
Yeah.
I can. I really want baseball, and then Terrell and Price and a couple of other guys. They were great, man. The young kids that came and took over it. People just don't understand how hard it takes to do that league. And like I said, Brush Park is no, it's so dear to me that I definitely don't want that going anywhere. You
Yeah,
know,
we need to figure out. I mean, because I think one of the successes of basketball, right, was the guys who played basketball, right, and even my wife that played actually came back and got back involved,
hmm
right, and so when guys play baseball and they go off to college or something like that, and them coming back, coming back and becoming managers and stuff like that, managing teams, getting involved with the development of the league, is so important, and to have those guys come back and, maybe pay tribute to some of the great high school players. And, because I think a lot of us would come back, man, for a reunion,
hmm
a little league reunion. And even Bob Semino was the commissioner of, he was a commissioner of baseball for a long time.
hmm
That coached basketball. So
hmm
yeah, so
It's
yeah,
about
man.
a lot of people. But definitely, we might need to do a baseball reunion. That might be
Yeah,
something.
definitely. Because that's where we started at. We started in baseball, and of course, you gotta go back and start talking about. Roy Smith is on there, so
hmm
yeah, Roy Smith, yeah, yeah. Roy was on the podcast once, so and
Wow,
you
he
know,
said he's in.
Wally said he's in. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell's father, who works for the Mets. I mean, yeah, he'll do some stuff, and I know Dwayne Brown. Right,
hmm
he's been talking about this for a long time too. He's been talking about baseball. Right, there go Greg right there.
Right.
I don't know what he's doing in the picture, but so talk about growing up and you're in high school and what are you thinking about, like, as you in high school thinking about, like, okay, one day this is gonna be over. What was your thought process in terms of growing up? And what were you gonna do after high school? What was your thoughts?
My thoughts was business all the time. It's funny, Lowe's, because I'm trying to now go back and think about. All I thought about was business. I don't remember any history. I don't remember no science. All I remember is the business classes, accounting, and certain things like that. I always wanted to be a businessman. Always was like, man, I'm gonna grow up and want to be a businessman. I'm gonna work downtown, office overlooking Manhattan, and that's all I thought about was getting out of. I came from like Sanford Boulevard, man, like Sanford and Third. The building's still there. I never looked at it as, but I always wanted more. And that's still the way I am now. It's like I'm driven to me. People always go like, "Why are you so driven? You got restaurants, you got this. You never you doing movies. I have so much things that we're in. I'm getting back in the liquor business, the spirits business, as they say. I just feel like I could do anything. I just feel like coming from Mount Vernon and we got the money earned in Mount Vernon. I mean, if I get a chance to do something, I'm gonna do it. But I just came in high school. I wasn't. It was so funny. because I was at the Boys Club, so I seen the great ball players at the Boys Club, right? I seen Eddie and Renee and all those guys are my guys. And then football, I broke my collarbone, and somebody reminded me of that yesterday. Pokey reminded me, broke my collarbone. So at the end of the day, I wasn't a DJ, so I wasn't the Collins Brothers, right? I wasn't Lowe's, I wasn't Smiley, I wasn't none of those over there, and I wasn't great at baseball. I went all the way to there, so I was like, man, I have to be great at something. I said, I'm gonna be great at business, and that's what drove me to stay focused. And I don't know what it is, like a tunnel vision of, because I don't remember nothing about nothing in high school. I can't remember nothing about science and all that other stuff. All I remember is my business class, Mr. Dudley, and all those, and then typing and stuff like that. That's all I remember, even in college. And then when I went to college, I just took all that Mount Vernon and started, got in the fraternity, got SGA, did all that stuff that I was doing. And the funny thing about life is that I was great in school, but I was always restless or doing something crazy from fourth grade on. And that was, like I said, I think that goes back to me going to the schools on Saturday, because I used to be at the boys club and stuff like that, and me, Scrap, and all those guys over there. But I always stay focused on business, man, and wanted to be successful. I think coming from where I came from, I wanted to be successful and try different things, and that's what I'm still doing to this day.
Yeah. So you end up graduating from college with a degree in business, and then you go to work, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where'd you go to work at?
I went to work at Xerox. And the funny thing, you see that picture with the briefcase, and I always had the briefcase. It's funny because people are like, man, Jeff, I would see you come from the Metro North, and you walk up and you be on 3rd Street, like you have a briefcase, and then start laughing. Yeah, right there. So me and Butter, and they're like, what you got in the briefcase? What you got in the briefcase? And I always was like, the first time I really got was with IBM.
He said, Tree said that wasn't no briefcase, that was a suitcase.
Yeah. And it was crazy because the first job I got was they tried to put me in a gym at IBM. They tried to get me to run the gym at IBM. I said, I didn't go to college to be in the gym for IBM. And then my uncle got me into Xerox. And that's when I was like, okay, this is great. Until I got my first review, and they were not trying to told me that I only deserve a 3% raise.
Oh, shoot.
And I was like, did I go to college and work all this hard? And then the second thing they said to me one day was, if y'all don't do your job, we can get somebody from high school to do your job. I said, did I go all the way to college, spend all this money and for a high school person to do my job? That's when I knew I had to leave, and that's when I started looking at entertainment.
Okay.
That's when I started looking like, oh, okay, I got to be an entrepreneur. And that's what made me go there. And I didn't quit. I just went and worked with my cousin. I started being more with Heaven those guys. Heaven was doing it, but really started out with my cousin, Grand Pooba, who's my first cousin. And
I remember Grand Pooba.
Yeah, Grand Pooba and my cousin Todd, which was a group first, was Masters of Ceremony. So I just started just being more of, hey, man, you need some help? This is what you need to do. This is the business thing we need to do. And then from there, being with Hev and Mount Vernon, me and Tootie, sometimes the different people, I would just be like, okay, can I go to the show? And then that's how I learned all the business, by just sitting there and watching. You learn a lot just standing around and just watching.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Yeah, and then and how long do you do that before you started like figuring this thing out? And then because you end up creating what? Ebony's Son.
Yeah,
right?
Ebony's Son. Me and my brother Shaka. Eventually I left Xerox, and I just took a leap of faith. And what I did was, I was like, I'm not going to go there. I'm not moving. Not going to Rochester. I just left, and then I started really getting into music and going down there, and then creating different avenues of how to make money. I was definitely doing like street team stuff, which street teams mean like selling, like they would have tournaments for the EA Sports, but I was the one that was setting up tournaments and different things for EA Sports. Um, at that time, Lowe's, I didn't know I was in Harlem, and it's still my office right now. Our first office was Harlem on 114th Street and 7th Avenue. That was our first office. Me and Greg. Greg slept on the couch. Greg slept on the couch, and we put a number on the record, and we both were literally there, and the phone would ring in 3, 4 in the morning. But when we put that record out with Shaka and Chris, that was our foray into going there with
Mm.
Chris.
Oh
Ever,
yeah.
ever
So
since then,
that was the connection then.
mm-hmm. Yes.
And did you know you had something?
We didn't know it was going to be that big. Nothing that big. We knew we had something because of what they were doing, but we didn't never know it would be that big. It got scary for a while because I always with brand Nubians and those guys, I just wanted to go gold. At that time, 300 back in the days, 300,000 and stuff like that. You would be like, oh, okay, that's great. Patty LaBelle and all these people. But then when it started getting into as the game started progressing, you started having to sell more records. So we went gold, and I was happy. I was ecstatic. We went 1.1 million, 2 million, and then it was 3 million. Me and my brother were like, oh my God, where we go from here? Literally, we were scared to death. Like, where do you go if you can't shoot up that high? Where do you go from there?
Right.
So it's just been experience, man. And Chris is amazing. Just we're having great partners. We call ourselves the Triangle Offense. Well, people named us that.
That's right.
It's like it goes from Jeff, the Shaka, to Chris, back to Jeff. It's like so they call it the Triangle Offense.
So you got relentless the series, right? He said we
Mhm.
are happy to help with that $1.1 million
I thought it was
donation.
1.6 now. You told me.
Huh? Now we can stay at the 1.1 million because Denzel's first gift that was a part of doing the gala and raising some money, right?
Mhm.
But his personal donation was $1 million.
Yes, sir.
We're not talking about the add-on. We're talking about the $1 million and a dollar.
Yes.
We got to figure out who's the relentless series. Who's the relentless series?
I don't know. They'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got to figure out who the relentless series. They want to help you do it. You
Yeah.
know.
Mount Vernon gonna help me do it, man. All my friends, everybody, Wiley, Daryl, all those are my guy. Everybody, it's everybody. We'll figure out a way to get to that, and hopefully we'll get like these corporations, man. Mount Vernon does so much and influences everything. Hopefully we can get some of these corporations that really can, get us to where we need to get at.
Right.
Because we give so much to them, we help them sell. That's why I'm adamant on, you know, I'm adamant on if you take from us, our community, you got to give back to our community.
Yeah. Well,
You know what I'm
without a
saying?
doubt. Yeah, and then but you guys, here's you doing music over the years. For many years you hit the music scene, it's going well, right? And then you start to expand, and you started doing. I noticed that you guys, well, of course, Chris is doing, start getting into the whole movie scene, and then you would start doing some movie stuff. Talk a little bit about that process, how, how that process started. Getting in. Now you're talking about now multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm. Well, that just came from us growing and just us seeing people, great people, the Russell Simmons and people like that. And, like I said, we're very competitive and we just watch everything. Like we still are every day. So we was like, man, Chris said, John Singleton, God bless the dead, John Singleton blessed us with getting him in the movie. And from there on, we caught the bug and we was like, wow, we need to make sure that we a part of it. We were going to bring our part to, the music side and than just learning. So at the end of the day, now we just feel like we got a music company. From there, realistically, we went into the liquor business. We went into the spirits business with Conjoy. That was something because I seen Skinny Girl Vodka sell a certain amount of cases, and she got like 60 million for like 30,000 cases, and I was like, man, we could do that. Like I'm looking at that, and I'm like, man, we could just take this liquor business and sell it like records. So we went in, we went to Cognac France. I'll show you the book one day. Went down there, we went and blended it. Chris went and blended it. We went to Cognac France because we drink stuff, but we don't really understand like cognac is because it has to come from Cognac France. So we went out there and we blended. He's like, well, what do you want? Chris was like, I want to blend it like Louis the 13th. And so it has the palate was incredible. So our drink, and then we just started Lowe's like going crazy. Like that was people always ask me what I did great. What was my biggest mistake was that we didn't finish that liquor business because we started learning that the same thing Jay-Z going through, same thing Puff went through, same thing 50's going through, is that it's a game that you really got to know, and there's a lot of tricks to it. So, we were looking at it. I was saying, "Oh, we're gonna make 300 million." That was my goal, and people thought I was crazy. And I was like, "No," because I'm seeing the way these people are selling now. If you look and see how people are selling these brands of liquor now, 300 million is nothing. When I was saying that years ago, and I got bottles, got people would give me gifts and be like 300 million because that's all I used to preach to the young kids was like, "I'm gonna get 300 million," and people were looking at me crazy, and then now they realize that we can do it. And that's all I want to do. I just want the young people to know that you can put your mind. I'm a reflection of Tampa Boulevard. I'm a reflection of the projects. I'm a reflection of Third Street. I'm a reflection of the Heights. I'm a reflection of Mount Vernon. And if I could do it, you could do it. You know what I mean? And that's what my spirit is of doing everything. We did headphones. We did headphones, and we have partners overseas. Like for 6 years, I was literally in international business school between the cognac and the headphones, whether I was in Korea or was I in overseas, like France, different places. People didn't know I was literally all over the place. But what I learned is that sweat equity is great, which we did. We used kind of a lot of our name, but the thing is, you have to put more than sweat equity in the game in order to have a voice. And then always understand that like big bank takes little bank. So we started getting so caught up in litigations that we had to sell it. We made some money, but I never got to that 300 million. So that's something that's near and dear to me and my team is to come back and really get back to a successful brand. Because we had the fastest growing cognac. People would think of me from Hennessy and all these other brands. They was like, man, y'all making us spend money. They bring y'all up in meetings. So we got to spend more marketing dollars. Thank you, because I work for the marketing company. But if anything that I wish I can, which I will do over is get that. Is like, to me, is be successful in the spirits business. Because that spirits business doesn't talk back. It's different from artists. Artists it's there, but when you're selling those bottles, it doesn't talk back to you. It doesn't say why we got to do this today or why we have to do that. You kind of just do what you want to do.
Well, yeah, like a lot of particularly NBA players and NFL players are getting into the spirit business, particularly the wine side of it. Like I know Carmelo Anthony and a number of these other guys are getting involved with that as well. I mean, there's always some positive side of spirit and negative side of spirits. I mean, and you got to be always careful about that. But if you had to, if you had to talk to some young people today, because there's a difference, like you said, there's a difference between working for somebody and like you can work for people for a long time, but it's different if you can work for you, right? And talk a little bit about working for somebody and working for you and building for young people today. How do you think about business? Because we only think about like a lot of professional athletes, when I came up, we weren't good at business. We didn't understand business. We knew how to play ball, right? But a lot of more athletes today and entertainers are more business savvy than they were in the past. So talk about like how do we, when young people say I want to do business, talk about what that process might be in regards to going into business.
Education, education. People come to me all the time. I say you want to be the smartest person. If you're going to dive in something, you got to dive in it 110. And actually, things are going to suffer. When you're in anything that you do, when you was in basketball, you know how you was, and you got to the NBA, other things suffer, whether it be your relationship, whether it be your family, certain things that, things you won't be able to do, missing your kid's game, or your girlfriend or your wife feel like you don't give them enough time. But if you're on a mission to make it, because I just wanted to be the best father I could be, and my family never want for anything, and I wanted to be debt free. My mother taught me never to be in debt. So I got two kids that graduate college, that, debt free. I wouldn't let them take credit cards out. I wanted them to get a shot like everybody else. When I say everybody else, y'all know what I mean. There's a lot of people, they get to see their vision and their dream because they not coming out of college and not having a chance to do what they want to do. So to me, and these pictures are throwing me off a little bit. That's why I'm stopping.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's always, to me, with these young kids is like, go for it. You have nothing to lose. If I would have stayed with Xerox, I would never be where I was at. My mother was like, yeah, leaving Xerox? I was like, yeah, I got to go out leap of faith. I could always go back. You get the education, you could always go back. Nowadays, the biggest thing I could tell everybody on this, and me and you and all of us, Trees, all of us, is like, we got to learn AI. Ain't going to be no job. We got to learn AI. We got to dive deep into AI, like deep in the AI. And you can do anything with it. And you got to dream. If somebody come to me with the right opportunity and the right things, I'm definitely going to fund you. But you're going to do your homework. You're going to do your due diligence. I'm going to send you to the small business. Because you're always being tested. I'm going to say, oh, go to SBA, to the website. I'm going to see if you do that. A lot of times I meet people, I'll be like, call me next Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning. Because I want to see if you're going to do that. That's the first test of anything. Because everybody supposedly want it. They look at it. They only see the great. They like, man, Jeff all over the world. Not knowing that I work hard every day, Lowe's. I'm working, like you said, I came here. I got to be prepared to come to your site. I got to be prepared to come to the podcast. We can do it. There's so many kids in Mount Vernon. That's why I'm always going to go back. I'm coming to talk to them, go to the Dole Center. If I could do it, anybody could do it. But I think the best thing is get an education. If you're going to get into real estate, me and my wife was talking about that. I was like, you got to go do everything. You got to know more than them, because other than that, they're going to rob you. Because when people talk to you, it's almost like when they tell you back in the days, like, say less. And because the more you talk, the more people can tap you. Like if I was trying to play basketball, you would just be like, Jeff, what about your left hand? What about your stop and pivot? Because you seeing where my knowledge and my depth is, you know what I'm saying? That's the same thing in life. People, the more they talk to you, they just tapping you. Just to see in my business, like, oh, you want to be in music? What's your lawyer? What's this? And all they doing is trying to figure out a way to rob you. Literally trying to figure out, because it's business. Everything is business at the end of the day. So, it's like being competitive. They got to know where their end game, where they can come in. So when I talk to all us and my people, I'm like, yo, be smart and ask questions, and don't act like you know something if you don't, because they know you don't know it.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the first thing when you going down. Learn everything and ask questions, man. You got elders. I got you. I could go down the list of Mr. Grimes, Mr. Coleman, Jim Jones, Jimmy Finch, Mr. Grimes, Butch Lewis, Hank Aaron, Clarence Avant. I always ask questions. Jimmy Finch taught me everything. My uncle was like everything to me. He sat me down, never judged me. He knew I was doing certain things, never judged me. Told me, I said, I want to open up chambers. He sat me down, explained to me how all that goes, how you got to order the sneakers, what it is, the different sizes. Then I said, I want to get in the liquor beer business. Remember they had the distributors. He said, well, I don't think you're gonna be able to get into that right now. But like I always ask questions. Like,
Yeah.
and I tell anybody ask questions, but ask the right questions. You could Google things now. Ask me what I did wrong, not what I did right. Like if I could do it or what it could do. That's the juice. You could Google me and see what I did right. Ask me if I could do it over. What would I do different? How would I? What happened to my liquor business? What happened to my headphone business? What happened? We got 2 restaurants right now. One is great. We're killing them in Atlanta airport. LA airport, it's going to be probably 2 years before we make a profit. 2 years before we make a profit. But now I got to put somebody on that because you can't do everything.
Yeah.
So you have
What's the name of the restaurant, man? I got to be in one of them, man.
Chicken and Beer.
Okay.
Chicken and Beer. Great marketing. Came off of one of our most successful albums. So we was like, hey, this is what Ludacris love, chicken and beer. And that's what we do. And we got one on in LAX and one we could have 11 more, right? But I have to learn this business in order to really maximize. I have to learn the business before I just jump in. They definitely want us to have more, but I definitely took a lot of scars, but I wasn't doing no different right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, because you have to try stuff, right? You got number one, you got to figure out how to get it started. You got to educate yourself on how to get it started, and then all business is risk. I mean, if you decide like, hey, I got an idea, but you never do anything with the idea, it just stays an idea. And then you mad cause, man, when you thinking things or say things, they travel to other people, man. Hit other people. Next thing you know, you're like, yeah, I thought of that. Like,
Have it all the time.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you say, hey, man, they went and did it.
Yep.
They didn't talk about it. They just did it.
Be about it.
Yeah.
Be about it. I got so many things, man. I got an idea that I have over 20 years. That I won't do because I want my kids. I want to own my intellectual property because I want something that my kids can have for the next 20 years. That's what I'm building on, intellectual property where I own my stuff. I see so many other people of other races where they be like, yeah, my dad owns the building over there, or they own this over here, and that's where I'm teaching with us is like we gotta own our own thing. Like your podcast, like you gotta know who the #1 podcast is. A young lady who. They own it. They don't give it to them. They license it out. So that's all I want to do right now. Lowe's is like, I was so blessed, man. I always just want to give back. Like, I just want, anybody could always ask me questions. I just want to give back because if you make it, I make it. And I don't do a lot. It's like, you've been trying to do this for a long time, man. It's just hard for me to speak like this. I kind of was raised differently of always staying behind the scenes. And letting my work speak for itself, but everybody like, man, Jeff, you got to talk. Like, you got to let people know you out here. I said, they know. The people that cut the checks know, but they like, no, you got to give inspiration. So my kids, they always be at me like, Dad, you don't know what? Everybody sees Shaka and Chris, they don't see you. I'm like, but we cut the same check. You know what I mean? But they like, no, you got to be out here. You got to be seen. And nobody knew Clarence. Clarence they call me Baby Clarence Avon. The Black Godfather.
Yeah.
Because nobody knew Clarence. We knew Clarence. I knew Clarence. Like, I was the same way. He's just unconditionally my daughter. I'm not drinking. My daughter, I used to sometimes tip, she'd be like, Dad, used to be like, yo, unconditionally who I am. But Clarence just didn't care. Clarence talked what he talked, did what he did. And I always looked at him as, okay, he could say what's on his mind. And he was saving people. And he could go from 3rd Street to the White House.
Yeah.
Butch Lewis could go from 3rd Street to the White House. So that's where I am. I never don't want to lose touch with where I'm from, Mount Vernon, Sanford, 3rd, the projects, nothing. But I also could go to the White House. And that's where I want all these people that we come up with who we rough around the edges, but can see a goal. A young brother from Mount Vernon get ready to get nominated. You told me yesterday for an Oscar because he was locked up in jail. They did a movie on him, and I remember him a long time ago, locked up most of his life, but now he's getting ready to get nominated for an Oscar. I was telling him, he was like, "Yeah, I'm on this Oscar run." I said, "Man, you gotta get on your next 4 films. What you talking about, an Oscar run? You gotta be thinking way ahead. You need to go find a publicist. You gotta do this." He was looking at me at first. I was like, "You gotta jump way ahead." Like, and so I'm so proud of him. I'm proud of so many people from our town. But it's just me giving back, Lowe's. That's really why I'm even on here to let people know that they could do exactly what I did. And I want to shout out Mike Hammond because I see him on here all the time. Mike helped me out one year in my school with a book scholarship. He worked for some company and they gave me.
One of them too.
Yeah. And let me tell you what happened. Let me tell you, because Lowe's, you know how I am, right? So Lowe's, whatever. I'm gonna tell you what happened, right? Because I'm very competitive, right? So they gave me the first year, they gave it to me. I think Doc might have got a couple people, Ricky Burton. The second year when I was supposed to get it, Mike gonna laugh, they couldn't give it to me no more. And I was like, well, why Ricky Burton got a book scholarship and he played basketball?
And he got a full scholarship.
Right, so I'll never forget that in life, Lowe's, but that motivated me. And all I do is give out book scholarships now all the time. So Mike Hammond, I want to salute him because I know what it meant to me to have that money for books. So
yeah, because books cost.
yeah, and that's that one little thing that you don't have to worry about. That one thing that might could be a meal or something. So my school, I give away nothing but book scholarships, and I gave it away at the Boys Club too. I gave away a bunch of book scholarships and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's just one of my things that my experience in learning, man, and giving back, brother. Like
He's
y'all
going
tell
to
me
be
so
honored.
much, man.
Mike Hammond is going to be honored on the 13th of September by the Shamoya McKenzie Scholarship. Shamoya is the young girl that was shot and killed at the age of 13 in Mount Vernon. So the committee has decided to honor Mike for all the years that he coached girls basketball in the city of Mount Vernon and what he did for young people. So we're excited about him
that's
being
awesome.
honored.
Let me know about that. I don't know if I'll be able to make it, but I definitely want to support. A lot of things I don't be able to make, but I always want to support. And he meant people don't understand the little thing. Lowe's, me going to see you, man, up there with Cali, going up to West Virginia, me and Slash.
Yeah.
Man, Jimmy like, oh, man, you crazy, man, going up there to West Virginia, man, you shoot. Listen, bro.
Yeah, that was a special time.
Man.
Yeah, I remember you guys up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Traveling, and all I did was travel because that's why I always travel. You know what I mean? Always when I was young, and then y'all taking the Boys Club, taking us to Philly to play, or different places. But me going to West Virginia, I never forget that trip when we went up there.
Yeah,
coach and all that, and you with the thing and all that. And then I was like, oh, something about Jerry West. I was like, hold up, man, this is crazy. So I always want to just thank you, man, and you being so humble, man, like the way you move and then coming back to the Boys Club, and like you said, you have a lot of me and you sit down one day because I still want to be on the board. I don't understand how I'm not on the board, and certain things, like but you got to learn you got to learn. But that all drives me. They honored me last year, and I really was a little upset, was because it was like Hip Hop 50 and all that. But I really wanted them to understand I was a businessman. If you go back and you listen to that speech, I'm like, it's about music, but I'm a businessman. Do you understand how much stuff I've done? Like, don't just label me in music. Like, I'm a businessman. I'm an entrepreneur, just like y'all guys, and they was like, oh man, I felt you, but it just took me back a little bit because they honored my cousin, Elise, and then they did have, and I got this little thing in me, Lowe's, and I got, there's that little thing in me where I just be get mad, and it drives me to be successful.
Right.
Yeah,
I think like basketball don't make me who I am. Right. And being at the Boys and Girls Club is not who I am.
Right.
Right. And so now I strive as I'm retired I'm striving for the next chapter.
Hmm.
I'm building the next chapter. Like my wife said, with the hope one day that we can turn around, and give scholarships and help people. Cause but you got to get on that business side of it.
Hmm.
That's the key is to be able to develop the kind of resources necessary, right? So you
Hmm.
can be blessed to be a blessing.
Hmm.
So yeah, and so we our young people need to see, and I get the behind the scenes, right? I do, right? But sometimes, I ain't the most outgoing person, right? But I realize I got to be out there,
Hmm.
right? Because if I'm not out there, and if people are not building the brand for Jeff, right? So people can say, oh, he came from Mount Vernon, oh, he came from that corner, that block, right? Oh, he was in the boys club. Because the more they hear it, the more they hear your story of where you come from, the more they think they can make it.
Hmm.
Hey Jeff, I just wanted to let you know that on Losey's bio for the Ain't Too Proud to Beg, he
Hmm.
put that he's proudly from money earning Mount Vernon.
Yeah. Listen.
So check this out. He'll be in Atlanta I think June 6th and June 7th next year. So maybe you can pop in and check him out. Check out your June 6th
Definitely.
and check out your Mount Vernon homeboy. I think he would be really excited to get some folks out there. I know Wiley will be there because Wiley is always there, and Eddie I know are planning on going out.
Definitely. Definitely. If I'm here, I plan on. I want to. I say slow down, but people they be like, man, you ain't tired. You ain't tired. Like, Lowe's, I'm tired, man. If not, like, it's tired. I got to figure this out and staying on my health. It's funny because Sherry Riley's a great friend of mine, but I got to be a great example to my kids. You know what I mean? And health is wealth. My
Hmm.
daughter is extremely busy. My son is doing the music and doing things that he's doing. One of the smartest guys I know. They keep me on point. But my wife is super. She's a teacher and she's getting ready to retire. But I just have to, find the time because I'm trying to learn me. Like it's funny. I'm trying to learn
Hmm.
what makes me tick. Like when I tell you about school and how I focus, and Marty Neal said some things to me at the reunion. A lot of people now, I'm like, how was I? What was I like? I'll talk to you offline. I'll be like, Lowe's, how was I really like? What was I like? Like because I really don't know. I was so focused. It's like I'm always into the next thing. Like I never like sitting and basking what I got. The best thing I ever basked was when we got the star on the Walk of Fame. When
Yeah.
Chris said that, yo, you're like a dad to me. That was like one of my biggest moments that I could like sit there and we were like, oh my God, like, like that meant so much to me. And, like I said, being from his father from Mount Vernon, we from Mount Vernon, just as his drive that he got, I say, you got that Mount Vernon, and it's that means everything to me, man. That and being in that documentary with Clarence and Obama and Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron's one of my men, like
What was the name of the documentary?
the Black Godfather on
The Black
Netflix.
Godfather. Okay, I'm going to
Yeah,
check that out.
yeah, and
It's a
then
documentary.
uh-huh, yeah.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just about Clarence because he did so much for different people. Nobody really knew who he was. A lot of times, that's why I said do your homework because I used to talk to a lot of people in the music industry. I'd be like, "Who you think the biggest guy in the music industry is?" They'd be like, "Puff, Russell." I just start laughing because then I knew your lack of knowledge. I know you really wasn't in depth and in tune to where it was at because they didn't know Clarence Avant was the man that made everything happen.
Hmm.
So I sit with Quincy. Quincy one time cursed me out, man. It's a funny story. Quincy Jones cursed me out. One day I'm sitting there and I'm complaining, I'm whining. Those one of them Jeff Dixon, man, and I'm sitting there talking about some of the music. And he said, man, shut the F up. You control your own destiny. And it
Mm.
recalibrated me, man. Because what he said was right. Nobody could control you but yourself. And
Mm.
that was one of the biggest, love Quincy, man. But like that was one of the biggest things and you need that sometimes. You need
Yeah.
somebody to check you, you
Yeah.
know. And I do that to my son. He looking at me crazy, but it's like, man, I gotta give you what they gave me.
And here's a question, before we get off, how do we in the future? I mean, and I know we all are building and developing our own islands, right? And but somewhere along the line, while we build our own islands, how do we pool our resources? How do we partner, collaborate, right, to bring about more people that in the entertainment field, from the business side, from the filming side, supporting each other to help build a bigger umbrella of successful, particularly African American people.
That's kind of hard because everybody be in their own lanes. We can do it. We're doing it. We're doing it. That's the thing is we feel like we're not. We're doing it. We just got to figure out what is the bigger platform when we control the money and the resources. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, money talks. At the end of the day, people only respect a lot of the money part. Lowe's, we got great ideas. We great at we got this idea. But at the end of the day, I always say we got to stop being the oil and we got to be the machine. Because the oil is burned at a high rate. Black people, we just the oil, man. We burn at high rates. They just take all our ideas. We got to be part of the machine. So even when oil, you still got the machine. So you're going to live with the machine. You live for life. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I clearly understand what you're saying.
That's what they doing. I'm telling you, like even in all this stuff, we gotta be the machine. Stop being the oil. I read a great book. You told me what book. The book I read is called The Jewish Phenomenon, The Seven Principles.
Right.
I recommend just reading it and understanding what things are going on in life and how people get successful. You know what I mean? Read it. It taught me a lot because I didn't understand, and I was coming in with the old Mount Vernon, and then I realized this young lady was like, and I was like, what's making this lady tick? And I finally read the book, and it gave me a lot of insight into how they move, what they do. They really in 5 states, and they utilize their power together. And then they already know that they're not going to be ball players and everything, so they know they're going to be lawyers and doctors. Like, you got to understand, we want all the things, but the things that count is what we should have learned over COVID was you better know a doctor, you better know a lawyer. You know what I mean? These are the things that it's going to last the test of time. I could have been on 3rd Street. I knew A plus B was going to make me C, go to jail. So I had to eventually okay, those dreams is cool, but at the end of the day, I had to learn to utilize my brain. And once I started doing that and being more positive instead of looking around to see where Garcia somebody was at, that's when I started thriving, being positive.
Man, I like that, man. That's good.
Yes,
That's
sir.
good there.
Let's see.
Huh?
Let's see.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, there's my baseball career.
Okay. You gotta see mine. This is the Rush Park.
That's my baseball career, man. I could get on first base, man. I'm telling you, I can run. I hit that ball in field, right? And everybody's like, man. I said, look, if I hit it in field, I'm getting on first, man. I mean, by the time they pick that ball up, I maybe not hit a home run, right? But by the time they bend down to pick the ball up, I'm gonna be standing on first, on my way to second.
You gotta understand, we took all the bait. We took Joe P. We took Smiley. All of us played in softball. Remember when we started playing for the Hawks?
Yeah.
Running the softball thing down at the field.
Oh yeah.
Went from little league and all that to there. And me, Eddie, all of us, we mixed a little bit of basketball, a little bit of baseball. Big Burton at first. And next thing you know, they was like, man, y'all ain't supposed to be playing baseball. Y'all gonna have this stuff, man. Y'all have it. And we was it. We played. That's when we took the title. We used to play Billy Beard and those guys, HBO. And we used to whoop up on them dudes, man. We whooped up, and we was the new Hawks, because Hawks was a different thing.
Yeah.
By the time we got with the Hawks, it turned into a whole different Hawks team.
Yeah, I know. I remember the Hawks, man. That was Scooter and Rodney's mom and father and uncle and them. Yeah, with the Hawks, and my cousin Roger McNair, all them guys about playing out there, man.
I need him to tell me about this right here.
That's at an All-Star game. I was great. That was at an All-Star game. That's Luda. That's my son Jeff, my twin. And,
Yeah.
And then Portia was the marketing person, and you couldn't tell me none. I was with the coolest guy, and I was trying to look cool.
I just want you to know that that's the plainest suit I've seen that
Yeah,
man.
man. Yeah, that's the plainest outfit I ever seen walk
He
in,
must have
man.
had a fly. His jacket must have been fly because he don't never wear no.
He
plain
probably
clothes
had a
suit.
cowskin jacket back there somewhere.
Yeah, we was at that was the All-Star game in Houston, and we had we got a limited edition Luda Puma Clydes.
Oh,
Limited
I
edition.
remember wearing them Pumas too.
Yep. My man Will Packer. We working on we working on a podcast now.
Awesome.
Yeah, Will Packer. That's my guy Tango, who manages Neo, one of my good friends in the music industry. Yep, that's Radio. Got my guy B from Radio. How you get all these pictures? I usually don't take pictures.
Hey, that's what I do, man. I gotta figure out.
cousin.
I gotta figure out how to monetize my own podcast. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We're gonna work on that, Lowe's. We're gonna work on that.
Christmas right there.
Now you see the guy in the blue shirt back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Mr. Coleman's grandson.
Wow. And shout out to Mr. Coleman, Jim
Yeah,
Jones.
Jim Jones.
Listen, man, Billy Thomas, Mr. Tuitt.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to all those guys.
Yeah, that's she still was the president of
Deborah BT, she's not no more.
BT, not anymore. Yeah.
Nah, Deborah left. Yep.
Yeah.
Good people. Good people. You know who was very inspirational in my life? From Mount Vernon, Terry Williams.
Terry Williams.
Terry Williams.
I don't even know what happened to Terry.
Terry is just chilling. She got out of the business. We'll talk a little offline, but Terry was the one that introduced me to Bush Lewis, who became a great mentor to me. But Terry, remember, like I said, I studied a lot in Mount Vernon. I watched everything. So I couldn't wait. And then we got in trouble with Bill O'Reilly, and Terry came in, was our crisis publicist. And Terry, man, we used to talk. I felt like I made it when I talked to Terry.
Yeah.
I feel like I made it. I was like, Eddie Murphy, I felt like I made it. When I got to Terry's music, could call up, be like, I need you to represent me. She was our crisis guy, person, but she taught me a lot. She told me, too, because I do so much and we never said it. She said, Jeff, you can't wait till you get in trouble. Then you want to tell everybody what you do. That's why you have to let people know. So if something ever comes up, it doesn't look like you just did it. Now, man,
Terry, I love Terry.
Shout out to Terry, man, and highly respected. Mount Vernon, we highly respected in the business. Terry, you can't go wrong with Mount Vernon, man.
No, you can't.
Money earning, man. We got it, man, and we still doing it. And that's why we have to let people. This is why I did this, because I really don't do anything. I don't really do podcasts. I did my little cousin. Shout out to Kennedy in Denver. I think they stars. I did their thing because I just wanted to inspire them. They're young.
They're young and doing it.
And they're smart. And then I'm congratulating them on going to Horace Mann, one of the top private schools in America. But my cousin Dory, shout out to her hard work and taking them and doing what she's doing. Man, I'm so proud of everybody, man.
Yeah. James Carter. You see James?
Oh, word.
What's up, James? Oh man, I ain't seen James in years.
Yeah, I think he's down here.
He in Atlanta?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if you remember Morris Crew. You remember Morris Crew played in Yonkers High School?
He's older than.
He's
all I remember was Bernard Toon.
Yeah, he was around.
I remember that name.
Yeah, Andre Battle.
Andre Battle was with me in high school. We graduated together. He was at Yonkers High School, Yonkers High. But then Jim Bostic and all them guys back in the day. But Morris Cruder's down there is down there in Atlanta, man. my son, one of my sons are down there in Atlanta too. He's working down there, and him and his girls are down there. His family. They
He
moved.
works at Emory University.
Yeah,
Hospital.
Emory University Hospital. Yeah.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah,
It's funny, though. So many people from Mount Vernon out here, and I very rarely, I'm running. I very rarely see. I run into Red Fulton sometimes. Ran into Jeff Fulton a couple of years. Like
Jazzy Red.
I used to run into like Chuck sometime, but it's so much Sheila Ritter. Everybody, Knobs. Mount Vernon is here. It's down here. Even Kid Ellis was down here from Pacer, the YMC against Southside, all that.
Yeah.
So, it's a lot of people, man, and it seemed like we all moving. It's funny because I was in Mount Vernon riding around. I was like, feel like there's an influx of different people coming into Mount Vernon, and then mostly a lot of black people are moving to the south.
Yeah.
So, but I'm telling everybody on this podcast, keep some property in Mount Vernon. We have 3 Metro Norths, 2 railroads. They might be trying to build to reach. How you say that when you destroy and rebuild?
That's right.
Let's make sure that they don't take all that.
Gentrify.
Yes, and I'm telling you, hold on to that property. I'm telling all everybody. I hope everybody on this podcast hold on to some Mount Vernon property. Grab whatever you could grab, if you can, because Mount Vernon is a gold mine.
Yes, it is.
For business, and you see now they starting to build the high rises. Don't get fooled.
Yeah.
Don't get fooled. And we put too much in here to let them take it from us.
That's right. So, but Jeff, I want to say, man, yeah. Hey, he just threw out some nuggets, right? As Damian Lillard said, he dropped some dimes, right? Just right there. Keep your Mount Vernon property. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I done heard the talk.
Yes.
Right. People from other cultures are buying up property all over Mount Vernon. Right. They may rent it out to you. They may lease it to you, but they
I heard there's a lot of tours in Mount Vernon over the weekends and stuff. I heard a lot of people come through Mount Vernon, man. I gotta go talk to Sean. I gotta make sure. We gotta make sure that we in there. I mean, we gotta communicate, man. Anybody communicate, man. I'm telling y'all, man. Stay smart. Real estate is it. Real estate and AI. If I ain't tell you nothing else on this thing, real estate and AI.
All right. So Jeff, man, I want to say thank you, man, for taking time out your busy schedule and doing something you don't often do. But I thank you for coming on for me, man. I appreciate you, man. And man, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Nah, thank you and the family. Y'all family to me anyway, man. Your moms, everybody, Doug, everybody, man. Curtis, all y'all, man. And shout out to Mount Vernon. I gotta do more things. If anything, I'm gonna do it for my people, especially for you, Lowe's. You always been an inspiration. Patrice is my homie. We go 81. Nobody's better than the class of 81. We too talented, brother.
I'm gonna let y'all have that tonight.
They be hating on us, Jeff.
No, I'm just gonna let you have it. I'm just gonna let you have it tonight.
But Lo, do you see how we stick together on our the reunions?
Yeah.
You understand what we do over here?
Yep. Oh yeah. No. And then you invited everybody there. That's what I love. Mm-hmm. You can come if you just graduated in 2000 or you graduated in 63.
Yeah. And shout out to Brush Park, man. The thing they did yesterday in Brush Park. Hey, it's glad to see Mount Vernon with all these things they doing, these reunions, like you said, to keep us all together. That was incredible yesterday in Brush Park, man. That was one of my highlights of the year right now.
Yeah. All right, man. I'm gonna sign off here, man. I want to thank everybody, man, for joining us each and every week on the Blueprint Podcast, man. If you don't mind, go on to YouTube, man. Like and subscribe. Do the same thing on Facebook, man. I look forward to it. I don't know if I'm gonna be on next week because we're gonna be vacationing next week, in Costa Rica. And I don't want to worry about anything, man. I might throw an old one up there, a good one from the past. And but I look forward to seeing you guys, man. Have a blessed week. Thank you guys. I love you. And I say this every week when I sign off, right? If God allows you to wake up tomorrow, make tomorrow your masterpiece. No, not 81, 76. God bless you.
You can't help yourself.
I couldn't help it. I had to say 76, 1976. All right, good night.
All right,
God bless.
Peace.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.
All right, got you. Peace.
All right.